4:32, and let's get to our breaking news this morning. An aggravated robbery turns into a multiple city chase, starting in Salt Lake City and ending in Taylorsville.
Chase ended with shots fired, sending 2 people to the hospital. Good for Utah's Jason Wynn, live in Taylorsville with the very latest. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Emily and Glenn. Police are on the other side of this apartment complex where the chase ended. They had to deploy spikes, and then a gunfight ensued. It all started in Salt Lake City when the West Valley Police Department did a surveillance run for a 31-year-old man believed to be involved in an aggravated robbery. Along with the 19-year-old woman, the two got in a car and drove off.
That pursuit transpired over several minutes and went across several jurisdictions.
When the chase crossed over into Kearns, at least one police car was fired on.
These suspects were hell-bent for leather as they continued on their way.
The chase went into Taylorsville, near the Salt Lake Community College. Unified Police Department deployed spikes.
It's evident that there was gunfire coming towards officers for some period of time.
The man police were after is in critical condition.
A firearm from the suspects has been recovered, indicating that that we did have a dynamic situation here at the termination point.
The woman shot herself, ran.
But she was recovered hiding in the community college.
At least one West Valley City officer and one Unified officer returned fire on the suspects. The 2 officers are on administrative leave pending this investigation. Now joining me live here is Sheriff Jim Winder. Sheriff, tell me about what you know about these suspects right now.
Well, what we know about them is that during the course of the evening they have created quite a bit of havoc here in the county. That started about midnight with a chase began in Salt Lake City. Led officers in a high-speed chase for several minutes through Salt Lake City, West Valley, and into our jurisdiction, during which they fired multiple rounds at our officers as they were in pursuit. We subsequently spiked the vehicle, and it came to rest here, and then there was a gun battle that ensued. Both suspects have been injured. One is in extremely critical condition, the other is in serious condition. We're hopeful that they will recover from those injuries, but no officers were injured, nor any members of the public, so that we're thankful for.
Now, the gunfight started in Kearns, if I'm wrong, correct me, but what about any injuries? Do we know of any injuries along that chase route?
No, we don't believe there is. There could be some property damage. We've been attempting to go back along the course of the pursuit area. We've located some shell casings. We have not seen any damage, but if individuals that are seeing this broadcast identify any damage to their homes or vehicles, we'd certainly like to know about that, but we cannot find any as of yet.
Where do we go from here?
Well, what will occur is the officers involved, again, thank goodness they're okay, but they'll be placed on administrative leave. We've instituted our regular protocol investigation that will include ourselves, West Valley, and the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office. That will move along, and it seems to be moving along smoothly this morning. And then we will proceed on prosecution of the suspects and get the officer involved shooting cleared up.
All right, well, thank you, Sheriff, for joining me now. Now, we're going to dig into who these suspects are, and we're going to talk to the West Valley Police Department to see why they were surveilling them. We'll bring you the latest details as this story continues to develop here in Taylorsville. In Taylorsville, I'm Jason Wynn. Good for Utah.
Joins us live with the latest. Jason?
Good morning. We're actually going to show you some quick video here. One of the bullet holes, or two bullets, were actually shot into this apartment complex. Now, we're only feet away from actually where the scene is. If you take a look at these little white balls as Michelle pans over, those are for the 3D imaging machine that they're taking pictures of a 360-degree angle of everything. Over here now, you should be seeing the car where the 2 suspects got out of the car and began firing on police. Now, coming back out live here, we're showing you some of the pictures of this one police car that was hit multiple times by bullets. We're not sure if they're the officer's bullets or if they were from the suspect just yet. All that is being investigated right now. I just got word that the woman is doing better and she's starting to respond to some questions from police officers. That was injured and found over at the community college, which is only about a block away. We're going to talk to West Valley. Police Department, they're on scene here. We're going to talk to their PIO and figure out just what happened, what caused all of this to transpire. In Taylorsville, I'm Jason Wynn, Good for Utah.
I want to go right back to Jason Wynn, our Good for Utah reporter. He's been live on scene this morning at the end of a police chase. It ended with shots fired. He's got some new information for us. What have you learned, Jason?
Good morning, Glenn and Emily. We just learned that the suspect that was shot just right here, the male suspect, 31-year-old man, is out of surgery. He was shot twice by police officers. And a female that was also shot during this chase right here was also out of surgery, and she is in stable condition now, talking to police officers. From what we understand from the Unified Police Department, the male that was a part of this chase this morning that led police through multiple cities was involved in the Kmart robberies in West Valley last Friday. Now, that's new information that we're just getting now. We're going to bring you a little bit more on midday with a full detailed report. I'm Jason Wynn in Taylorsville. Good for Utah.
4 people are in the hospital recovering from what has been a very violent week in West Valley.
2 suspects in custody arrested for an armed robbery at Kmart last Friday. One of them was injured in a crash during a police chase. The other suspect shot by police this morning. Good for Utah's Jason Wynn is live in Taylorsville, where police are wrapping up their investigation.
Good afternoon. The police actually just left the scene, which allowed us to move down and show you what happened. Now, police had to use spikes to stop the vehicle right over here. The 2 suspects got out of the car, both a 31-year-old man and a 19-year-old woman. They moved over here. This is actually where the male suspect was shot. Paramedics had to work on him before sending him over to Intermountain Medical Center to get treated. The 19-year-old woman, she ran through the gap in this fence. She was apprehended by a K-9 unit shortly after that shootout. Most residents woke up after midnight to a hail of police sirens, but not Jackie Brooks. She was outside playing cards when the chase ended in her neighborhood.
Like 10, 15 shots in a row, and yelling and screaming as we just hit the ground.
At least 2 officers, one from West Valley City and one from Unified Police Department, opened fire on the man and woman that had been shooting at police in a Bonnie and Clyde fashion from Kearns.
These suspects were hell-bent for leather as they continued on their way.
One of those suspects was seen here in this robbery at Kmart in West Valley.
The Kmart robbery was pretty brazen. Put a lot of people in danger.
The other was a part of this accident on Tuesday, also on Redwood Road.
It's unfortunate that on Tuesday evening we had this pursuit and that fleeing vehicle strikes an innocent family as they're moving through the intersection.
That family mostly suffered minor injuries, though their 10-year-old child has a broken hip. The 31-year-old man shot by police is in critical condition. The 19-year-old woman ran from the scene. K-9 units were used to track her down.
She was recovered hiding in the community college.
She was also shot, but it's unclear to police if she has a self-inflicted wound.
Both of them, the one from Tuesday evening, had a loaded firearm, and obviously last night the individual we contacted had a loaded firearm and engaged police with shots fired.
Both of these men have serious criminal backgrounds and may be linked to more armed robberies in Utah and Salt Lake counties. Now, Unified Police tell me, or Unified Police and West Valley Police both tell me that both officers that were involved in the shooting today were experienced officers. Now, Unified Police says because the shooting started in Kearns, that they're still looking along that route for bullet holes and casings. If your home or any of your businesses were affected, please call the Unified Police Department. They want to talk to you and help you out with that. In Taylorsville, I'm Jason Wynn. Good for Utah.